You have to learn the technology, period. I don't care what industry you're in. You have to sit down and begin to master.
In terms of the tech world, I am learning as I go.
Don't even
we can go on and on and on.
You can.
All right. Welcome to the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT. I'm Josh.
Why everybody want to clap for you all of a sudden like that?
What's going on? A lot is going on here at DSDT. Karlos?
How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm just trying to get into the throes of everything. I'm trying to get comfortability.
Yes, I will. You've been quite busy the past few weeks.
Super busy.
Is gradually growing more and more. When I walk in, I said, that has been added.
Yeah.
That has been added.
Yeah.
So maybe we can give a overview of what the new studio is looking like for the podcast. Quite the evolution over the past few weeks.
Why don't we get a wide shot back there?
Yeah, let's get a wide shot. Show folks what we're talking about here, man. I mean, this is pretty slick. I'm liking the different camera angles. Yeah, there we go.
Right.
There we go.
See, you got the cameraman back there. Look at him. Shout out to Josephus in the back.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Shout out to Josephus back there. Josephus is showing up and showing out. That's right. Hercules is gonna be just like me when he grew up.
Oh my goodness, man. No, man. Quite impressive. I love the way it's looking. More to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want to do bigger and better. And it's much, and I guess this is for somebody, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to do everything and you're capable of doing everything, but it's okay to build a team around you.
Absolutely.
And so I think that where we are now, we really need to have more hands on the deck and it just for the added value of it.
Yes.
I have a lot of creatives around me, especially those that have come through our digital marketing program. And so I would like for them to be able to take advantage of the equipment that we have here and perhaps bring some of that creativity to what we do as well.
Look, this podcast is not only about talking about technology, giving the school exposure, but it's also about giving the students here involved.
Yep, absolutely. And
that making it part of the learning experience.
And if you remember from day one, that was the thought process, to bring more students in. But of course, then we get hit with COVID.
Of course.
And shut down everything.
Yes.
So this was one of the rooms that was added as a result of us growing so much right before COVID. And for a couple of years, it lay dormant. And so I was walking down the hallway just last week and I looked in on the class. There were about 5 individuals in here. And I said, why don't we switch rooms?
Yes.
We switched rooms. So I gave them the smaller room and I came over here and took this one over. Isn't it eminent domain? Eminent domain. Came in and I took it over. And so now we're going to be doing a lot of our podcasts and broadcast out of here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. I actually have a student stop me today and said that she would love to be able to do a podcast about some of the things that are happening in her local community around the city of Detroit. So I'm looking forward to perhaps starting some up with her at the beginning of the year.
And as we all know, that is the beauty of doing a podcast. It's very focused.
Yeah.
You find a particular topic and you really lock in on it.
My thing is that I think by now we've worked enough of the kinks out that any and everyone that wants to do it can do it.
Absolutely.
And I just really want, especially our student body, to take notice of that. If there's an idea that you have that you feel that could bring even value to what we do here at DSDT, then by all means, catch me along the walkway, send me an email. Hey, if you have to, send me some smoke signals. I'll welcome any communication whatsoever. I just want to make sure that everybody that wants to do it has an opportunity to do so we can get some of that conversation out.
Hey, learning and growing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Brother. Okay. Hey, so let's hit real quick with the announcement that continues through the end of the year. here at DSDT. You are trying to gain more scholarships going into 2024.
Yeah, we're still on our scholarship drive.
Mhm.
And again, you know that we are dealing with the 90-10, as I've stated time and time again
Yeah.
here on the show.
Mhm.
We're dealing with the 90-10 from the Department of Education, and we're still trying to get additional funds for scholarships for the 10% that we can't actually infuse into the budget
It
ourselves.
has to be donated, third
It
party.
has to be donated from an outside party.
Mhm.
And so that donation drive will be going until December 31st.
Yep, end of the year.
End of the year. So if you haven't
Mhm.
at this point made a donation, then we definitely would accept any and every donation that you have. I think the last I looked, you can actually go on, you can do $1, you can do $5, whatever your heart's content. Now I know it's the holidays.
Right. Everyone is spending. Everyone is trying to get those gifts ready for Christmas Day.
Yeah, everybody is. But, you know, just think about those within your community that are looking forward to actually going back and building their skill sets at the beginning of the year. You know, September and January are those times when you have an influx of students. You know, it seems to me like everyone has that mindset that they want to go back to school.
Okay.
And so because January is only weeks away, then why not give the gift of education? So again, if you are thinking that perhaps you would like to donate to what we're doing here at DSDT, you can always go to www.dsdtholdings.org.
All right. And again, part of the focus here is bridging the gap in the digital divide.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, we know what goes on in the city of Detroit, if not everywhere.
Yep.
We like to think that a lot of the residents don't have equal access to opportunities via technology. We specifically say internet, but those technologies can be a whole litany of things now. And so we want to make sure that our community, local residents specifically, have equal opportunities at any given time to be able to connect with whatever they foresee themselves as doing. Whether it be in artificial intelligence, whether it be in cybersecurity. Heck, we even now have put our medical assistant program is hybrid. So the first, I believe it's the 160 clock hours. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 160
Roughly.
clock hours
Ballpark.
are actually online.
Okay.
So you get a lot of that training in the beginning online. So again, you have to have that internet connectivity. You have to have a device in order to be connected so that you would be able to get the benefit of that class as well.
All right. Love it. All
right.
Okay. So we have a few things to talk about in the Let's Talk. So here's something that's interesting. In the evolution of AI over the past year, OpenAI's groundbreaking safety plan, exploring how their board can now reverse AI safety decisions. Apparently, this is going to be a real game changer in AI governance.
Okay.
So it is giving the board, it's giving AI leaders, creators, if you will, the option to reverse certain decisions.
Yeah. Okay, so of course we know what happened not even a month ago at OpenAI, where there was this big blowback and Sam got kicked out of the role as CEO.
Yeah.
And over 700 individuals or employees of the company says, "Hey, we're going to quit if you don't hire Sam back." And so they actually did hire him back. Well, it seems now that they are saying that they want to release more models in the future, and they understand where this AI thing, this craze is headed. And when they are considering releasing these models, the executives, your Sams, are perhaps going to say, yeah, it's the right thing to do. Let's release them. The public is ready. Well, if the board says that we don't believe that it meets the standards that we've set forth, they have the ability now to say that, nah, we're not going to do it.
In a nutshell, this helps create more dialogue.
Okay.
Fair?
Okay. I hear you. I don't see it that way, but
okay. How do you see it?
All right. So I don't particularly care for this type of governance.
All
right. So, and actually, I went to lunch earlier with.
But we have known for quite some time. I mean, we've talked about it here on the podcast, where it's only a matter of time before more rules and regulations come in the world of AI. Is this kind of the first step
It is, and I understand why they're doing it,
Mhm.
and I understand the whole the mindset behind it. Here's the issue that I have.
Yeah.
Again, I was having lunch earlier with Douglas Drouillard. Douglas is a software developer. Shout out to Douglas, who just got back from Costa Rica, one of my favorite places in the world.
Nice.
And
Bet it's a little
he
warmer
just got
there.
back from a meeting with the team members. He has about 25 developers, 25, 30 developers down there that he works on projects with.
Yeah.
And so, as we're talking about this particular topic, it between us, I just happen to believe that they can begin to try to self-govern as much as possible. But ultimately, I feel like we are giving the keys to our future or the demise to our future to the very thing that's creating the thing. Right?
Mhm.
I mean, does anybody remembers what happened back in, I think it was 1775, when the United States decided that, or the guys gathered, the forefathers gathered,
Yeah.
and said that they were going to create this thing called the United States of America, right? They said that they were going to create this government. And when they had that ideology of that government that they wanted to create, it wasn't as big as it is now. You know, you didn't have nobody saying that you can't drive down the road with, you have to have your seatbelt on, or you can't drive down the road watching your cell phone, because none of those things were seen back then, right? And so as they are attempting to self-govern, at some point, you know, who's creating the ethics, who's creating the do's and the do nots of these systems? I just feel like ultimately the systems grow beyond what the actual creators are creating, kind of like our government, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Do we need more transparency in who is governing the evolution of AI?
I don't know if you could even do it at all. I just don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. So say for instance that Josh creates the Chat GPT,
Yeah.
and Josh and all his team members say, Chat GPT, you cannot do this, you only can do that, da. Every rule, every ethic, every moral that you try to bake into Chat GPT, I'm a hacker. I come along, I don't play by your rules. Right? So I can potentially manipulate Chat GPT or any other language model to do X, Y, and Z beyond what you thought or said that it should. Now, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the beginning, they said that they had these hallucinations. These AIs would have hallucinations. And in having these hallucinations, meaning that they did things that they didn't program them to do. So that means to me that as you're trying to give me some semblance of governance, right, that you're going to only create AI that are ethical and they're only going to be created for, you know, what desires the human best. You don't really even know what you're creating. You really don't. So you're just giving me a bunch of smoke. And again, I just happen to remember the last few systems that a group of men sat down and created. It didn't turn out too well for Carlos. Just saying.
A different time, a different place, a different conversation.
Okay.
Well, here's my question. Back to our topic. Let's say I create a GPT.
Okay.
I create a chat bot, and it's hacked. Shouldn't there be some kind of plan in place to react?
Yeah, it should be. It should be some sort of plan in place, but that's in theory. That's in theory to me. You know,
It's in theory, but it's a way. But you have to be proactive too.
Yeah,
you have to plan ahead.
But the plan between them is to say that if they have senior leadership that says that we should go commercial with a product that we have built, then the board can say, well, I don't think that the public is ready for it, so we're going to shut it down. See, that's the governance that they're talking about right now.
Okay.
You know, and in fact, I actually, and I should have pulled it up, but I actually had ChatGPT. I took the framework that they actually gave us, and I copied it all and I put it in ChatGPT, and I told ChatGPT to tell me what's wrong with it. And it actually gave me a list of things that would, you know, have to be changed in order that they would meet the criteria that they set forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I say, it's going to be definitely something to watch in the coming years.
Definitely. All right. With that being said, building your own Chat GPT bot.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently, more hands are getting dirty with some AI magic. Carlos, have you ever wondered how you would make your own ChatGPT bot? I mean, you're becoming more and more familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is becoming the thing. Look, right here, as you see right here, how to build your own custom Chat GPT bot.
Uh-huh.
Like you've been doing that the past few months, to my understanding.
Correction.
Correction. Okay. Correction.
No, it has not
Okay.
been the last few months.
Okay, maybe the past few days.
You guys have just known about it the last few months.
Okay.
Now, those that are within the community, I don't know how many of you guys remember.
Well, let's keep in mind he's up to 2 o'clock in the morning just plugging away.
And I didn't just start doing that last month either. But there is a platform that's called Bot Libre, Libre. It's from a company out of, I think it's Ottawa, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, I know they're Canadian, but I've been using that platform since maybe 2014, 15.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
all right.
it's another AI chatbot type platform. So they were well ahead of your OpenAI's, Anthropics. So they have been doing it for quite some time. And I stumbled across that back in my heyday of writing novels and building websites.
Mhm.
So I've been quite kind of using chatbots a long time. Now, with that being said, I do think that the features that your platforms like Chatbot Builder, shout out to my man Ryan Baggett over at Chatbot Builder, Chatbot Builders, and of course OpenAI's platform, I think that they do have a great user interface that allows any and everyone that wants to build those bots to have access to it. So you don't have to be as techie as someone who knows how to program, who knows how to go in and, I don't know if you guys are using a Visual Studio or whatever the case may be. It's as easy as you signing up for a subscription nowadays with a chatbot builder so that you would be able to build all of the chatbots that you need to do, whether your social, your website, or whatever the case may be.
All right, here's an interesting question, Carlos. How might the widespread use of AI like ChatGPT influence the way children learn and interact with information in the next 10 years or so?
I think that in my world of greats,
Yes.
I think that every person who has the ability to learn, and that's nearly every human being there is, would have the assistance of some AI tool.
Okay.
Right. So long gone are the days when you have to sit and listen to an instructor for 45 hours explain to you how to do X, Y, and Z. Why we already know that, right? The pandemic showed us a sense of that. Why when we were, so set at home and we couldn't get out in the public and be around other individuals, we were at home, and a lot of our children were going to school, and even the adults. And so you kind of got a glimpse of what it means to actually be alone and learn. Now, you may have had classes that you were taking online, but a lot of us were going to TikTok. Some of us are going to YouTube. I learned some of the greatest skills that I have from YouTube. And so I think that now with the adaptation of your Chat GPTs, of your Anthropics, of these tools, then it gives me the ability to sit down and say, okay, give me the syllabus for how to learn how to braid hair in 2 hours. Not that I've tried that. Not that I have, right? But it would give me literally the recipe, the recipe, not ingredients, but the recipe for how to step-by-step walk through how I'm able to do it with visuals, whether it be videos that it creates or images or whatever, so that I can learn even faster without having to necessarily go to a traditional setting. And if in a traditional setting, I still should have access to the tool. It's all that it is. It's a tool. It's not that it's going to necessarily come and take the teacher's job today. Maybe in the years to come it will. But I don't necessarily see the case where it's so fast adapted that instructors have to necessarily worry about losing their jobs, because we as humans still love to be engaged with other humans.
Well, that led into my next question, Carlos. How does this play a role in artistic expression?
Now that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
That's really difficult. So you'll hear And I hear Amber in my ear for some reason. I hear
She'll be in our ear soon enough.
Amber in my ear, right? I definitely believe that there's a place for the tool.
Okay.
A place for the tool. I'm not saying that it's to take over a lot of the creativity and it's to displace a lot of the creators. I'm just saying that it's another tool in the arsenal to use it for what it is. And if you don't want to use it, don't use it. Nobody's forcing you to. I am a creator of sorts. I'm a nerd of sorts. I'm fastly learning. And as these tools are beginning to develop and I learn more and more about them, I love to be able to sit down now and grab some of those as opposed to the older ones in order to get the job done faster. Now, you would think that it's faster at times, but a lot of the work and the energy in the work have just been displaced. It's no more faster than what an individual thinks that it is. Like, for instance, someone would say, you use ChatGPT to write a book. Have you tried to write a book with ChatGPT? I can tell you it's not simply a ChatGPT. Write me a 50,000 word novel on the Exodus.
ChatGPT still will need the information.
A lot
and where do you get the information from?
A lot of prompting. So again, it's just a tool in order to assist with whatever the task is.
Okay, with that being said, let's go into our next topic, which I think you might enjoy. With AI on the rise, Princeton is exploring its new East Coast AI hub. So here's what's going on. They're diving into something super exciting happening on the East Coast. New Jersey is stepping up its tech game in a big way with the announcement of a brand new AI hub at Princeton University. So think about it this way. It's just not just a research center. It's a major hub dedicated to artificial intelligence right in the heart of the academia. They'll explore what this means for the AI landscape, how it might transform the tech scene on the East Coast, and of course, what groundbreaking innovations we might expect from the bright minds at Princeton University. So it's alluding to your argument, to your point of view in many ways, Carlos, where now you have a university such as Princeton creating an AI hub.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say, I think Princeton may have gotten that idea from me. I'm just saying.
Hey. I'm not arguing. I'm just
saying because that's kind of where our thoughts here at DSDT have been all along.
Yes, since day one.
Getting more. The moment that I saw the capabilities of a ChatGPT,
yes,
I thought people will need to know how to use this. And so Princeton and the state of New Jersey have taken it a step further and said that we're going to, form a partnership and make sure that the state employees actually know how to use this. I think that's phenomenal. Why aren't we doing that in, I'm gonna say it, did nobody else say it, Michigan? Why aren't we doing it in Michigan? If we know that these tools are literally going to change the everyday work environment, why are not more local municipalities, Detroit?
How come you're not getting a call from Wayne State University?
Why aren't more? And so I can understand why I wouldn't get a call from from Wayne State, but still,
separate entities,
the cities. So I'm more agile than a Wayne State University. If you call Carlos or you speak to a Jamie and you say that, well, I need a staff of 25 individuals trained next Thursday, I can make that happen like that. Whereas I don't need to call nobody else. You're talking to the guy who can make it happen today. So I just don't understand why more municipalities are, noticing the writing on the wall. They hear all of the language and they're not being better prepared for the work environment of today. I won't even say tomorrow. I'm going to say today. These tools are needed everywhere, industry-wide, and more cities, more states need to be making sure that their employees are better skilled in these tools.
And not just universities, municipalities, but I mean, we need to be talking about high schools at some point too.
Okay.
I mean, if AI is headed where we think it's headed, I mean, at some point, at least to some degree, your algebra level of AI, the basic fundamentals, and then you learn more as you go into higher education. But maybe we're headed in the future of some kind of introduction in
So-
early childhood education.
So in the future that I foresee,
Mhm.
and it may not be in the next century, right? I see a future to where higher education isn't even needed.
Oh,
It's not needed. The main reason that the educational system, traditional educational system, is set up the way that it is
Mhm.
simply because there was a lack of access to higher education.
Yeah.
Once you have the fundamentals, whether it was writing, arithmetic, or whatever the case, after the sixth to eighth grade, the thought was that if we could train you in some of the higher educations, then perhaps you would be a better skill force, a workforce, or a better citizenry for the government.
You got me thinking about affirmative action right
And well,
now.
that too,
Yeah.
right? Because the Higher Education Act passed in 1965, November 1965. The Civil Rights Act passed in July of 1964. So all of that runs tandem.
Mhm.
The reason that they were enacted was so that our community could have access to higher education.
Bingo.
Well, guess what? Higher education meaning having access to knowledge. Knowledge. Back then, Encyclopedia Britannica, the Farmer's Almanac, these were the only access that we had. Now, that mobile device that you carry around, which in your pocket stores more information on it than
computer.
all the libraries in the world.
Yeah. Everything you need to search
Right?
of right in the palm of your hand.
So to say
Literally.
that you don't have
We all know that.
access anymore, again, the traditional educational model has to change, and thus giving everybody access definitely does that.
But also, with that being said, the mindset of many individuals has to change as well, because we have to use this beyond just being on Instagram all day.
Yeah, well, that helps.
TikTok, you don't stop,
That
whatever
helps.
the case
That
may
helps.
be.
That helps. Of course, the mindset has to change, but it's not necessarily. I tell you right now, it's a big money maker. It's a big money maker for government as well.
True.
I mean, think about all the debt that right now can't be written off. Thanks, Biden. I know that you tried. It can't be written off per the judiciary, and Congress is definitely not trying to do anything soon in order to do away with all the debt that the government is backing. Right. So at the end of the day, it's a big money maker. It's a house of cards. For what? On the backs of those. You go to school to become an orthodontist, and you go for 12 years. I know this because my kid's going to school to be an orthodontist, right? You go to school for 12 years, and then you walk away with debts nearing $1 million.
Yes.
$1 million to do what? To put some braces on some teeth? If you don't,
You never pay that debt off.
you're indebted for the rest of your life. I mean, who's going to pay off $1 million in debt if y'all don't stop it?
In debt for the rest of your life.
If you don't stop it, come on now.
Okay.
I say it's the biggest racket that there is, which is why a DSDT can get you trained quicker and get you the skills that you need to be employable as soon as possible, so that you don't have to go into all that $1 million of debt. Are you serious?
Make it make sense.
It does not make sense at all.
But
But you know what? With that being said, I'm gonna bring on Amber and let her give some thoughts on all of this indebtedness.
Amber, what's going on?
Hello. You guys get fancier every week.
Hey, blame it on the man right next to me.
Set up, yeah, a new intro for me. It's just, it's gonna happen in 2024.
We haven't seen you in so long. AI. I mean, is this the AI Amber? Or is this real Amber people? I was asking.
Look so identical.
They look so real. This just have been said. Amber, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I thought you were like out of the country.
No, I was supposed to be out of town, but then my husband messed around and got cooties before we left, so we didn't get to go.
He has what?
No, he had COVID. I call it
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is he doing okay?
He's good now. He just ruined my birthday, and now he's good, so it's fine.
He'll make it up.
Wait a minute. Hold on, stop.
He'll make it up.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You said he had COVID. He ruined your birthday.
I mean,
The man became ill and it ruined her birthday.
listen, we were already checked into our flight. So
That is.
and then it was like, oh, now you feel really bad. You
So we're
should.
talking day before or even day of, Amber?
No, like our flight was at 7 a.m, so it was like in the afternoon, evening of the day before. So it was like 12 hours from when we were supposed to be boarding our flight.
Ooh.
That he realized that he was not well.
Wasn't
and I was
feeling
like,
too well.
So you had to cancel the flight?
so yeah, we had to cancel the flight, had to cancel all our plans, and then I had to I feel like when somebody has COVID, it's a whole different type of caretaking, because you got to take care of them kind of from a distance though, but then also make sure that nobody else is getting it, and it's a whole thing. So it was a whole thing for me, but he's good now. He's testing negative and he's feeling better and everything. All is well now that my birthday is over. I keep messing with him and he's like, stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm just playing. I know he feels bad. So
yeah. I can't even imagine have we had that happen. And I'll tell you what I did do one time.
12 hours.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did. I've never gotten sick before a flight. However,
Mm-hmm.
we were going somewhere and I did leave my wallet at home. And we literally got to the gate and I said, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? So I had to go. Matter of fact, we were going to Cancun last year for Christmas.
So you're at the airport, you're at the gate, you're about to check in, and your wallet is on your drawer at home.
Yep.
Ouch.
I had to go back home to get it.
Did you make your
No. I'm lying. That's not what happened. I'm sorry. I let me redact that. I actually grabbed my wife's passport.
Yes.
And it was an expired passport. So we get to the gate, we're checking in, and she was like, why did you grab that one? How the hell I know which one is your passport, right? So I had to leave. Well, our aunt and my two daughters were going with us, so they flew on ahead of us. Mm-hmm. My wife had to redo our flights, and I had to rush home to grab. I grabbed the passport. I made it back. And do you know, we actually touched down in Cancun before they did.
Wow.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Okay. we got that emergency first class nonstop flight.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
End up getting a better deal.
Right.
Due to an emergency. How about that?
So Amber, can you please bring us up to speed this week? What is going on in tech news?
Yeah, so there's not a lot of really exciting things happening with tech news, but there is a couple things. So TikTok is rolling out an enhanced experience for tablets and foldables, which is the big time because right now it's optimized for mobile phone use. So you get a good experience if you're scrolling through your phone, but people who are using TikTok on these larger devices like their iPads and things like that don't have the same experience. But now with the updates, the pictures will be clearer. The functionality of it will be more seamless. So it will be a bit better user experience for those who are using it on bigger devices, which people are starting to do more, not just with tablets and foldables, but people are even watching TikTok on TV now. So this is kind of a big deal.
Watching TikTok on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What?
You can get the app on your smart TV and you can scroll through just like you're scrolling through.
Oh, kind of like YouTube.
Yeah.
I could see it being a thing.
That's smart.
I could see it being a thing.
I love YouTube on my television.
Yeah, I do too. But not TikTok. It's like Facebook and all that. I pass right past it. Right past it.
We probably thought that about YouTube initially as well.
No, I've always used YouTube on television.
But I mean, when it initially became available on TV, you didn't think like, oh, and that's different. I thought YouTube was specifically for your computer, the internet, not to be on your television.
No, I guess I'm an early adopter.
Okay, all right. He's ahead of his time. I don't know. The idea seems kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I probably would spend more time on TikTok than Is Google listening? Is Google listening? I probably would spend more time on TikTok. I love TikTok at times.
And that's what I'm getting at. Accessible on your television screen.
Yeah, and so with the update too, now it's optimized that you can use it in landscape or horizontal mode.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Okay.
Is it available now, or when will it be available?
Yes. So no, it's rolling out now.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
It's
All right,
the
I'll-
update. So update your TikTok app. Okay, so again, nothing super exciting. I'm almost like, whatever, but it's nothing super exciting. Meta is discontinuing cross messaging between Instagram and Facebook, like right this second, like mid-December.
Oh, are you talking about like your stories and things like that?
So messaging only. So it had
Oh,
it where you could cross message. So you could be talking to people on Facebook through Facebook Messenger through your Instagram DMs and vice versa. But they're discontinuing
Yeah.
that cross messaging now. So you'll notice if you use that feature, you'll start to notice that you cannot initiate any new messages cross platform, and any messages that you already had going, those threads are now read only. So
Any reason?
to reply.
Any idea on the reason behind that, Amber?
I personally feel like because nobody really cared that much about it. Nobody really used it the way that they wanted to. I think that it's also very confusing for a lot of users. So yeah, so they basically they wanted to improve the messaging experience, and I think this is a part of that. I don't think that the cross messaging feature makes for a great user experience.
Differentiate, kind of.
Yeah.
I do
the
think
overhaul of messaging. There's a lot of like they're going to install the end-to-end encryption and things like that. So there's a lot of updates happening to messaging we should see over the next few months and into the new year that are going to improve your messenger experience.
I'm glad they are. I'm glad they're stopping it.
Yeah,
because
I never liked it. So
listen, I am so tired of people calling me on Messenger, on WhatsApp that I don't know. I don't know these folks.
It has come across as weird.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people
slightly alarming.
I've had people try to reach out to me,
call
and
you.
I'm like, who the hell is this?
Who are you?
No, I'm
You're
good.
video calling me.
I'm good
on Instagram.
I'm good.
And Facebook.
I'm good. I don't know you
Why?
like that. I don't know
my
you.
husband,
And if you know
my
me well
husband,
enough, you'll pick up the darn. You'll call me by my number.
That's right.
my husband works with athletes, and he has for a long time he had a lot of basketball players from like Africa and stuff that would call him on Facebook because they wanted him to help him, because he's known for like helping kids get into schools and different programs specifically for sports. And when I tell you, it used to be insane. It's not so bad anymore. I think he has done some blocking and some restricting.
Smart.
But it was crazy. His phone would be blowing up like all different hours because it was coming from different countries.
Yeah. In my village, my father is the village fisherman.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly how it would be.
I just said, I want to play basketball.
Yes, that's exactly how.
If you got game, let's talk. If you got game, let's talk. Otherwise, keep working on that jump shot.
I just saying
Yeah.
every day. All right. So, and what's happening on Instagram? I didn't even know what this was. What's happening on this?
I think this is stupid. So kids,
Amber, I've been loving your topics so far. Just FYI.
okay, good, because I thought they were kind of
No, the first two so far, TikTok being available on television, Meta getting rid of this video messaging on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, that's good news to me.
well,
Yeah.
well, not necessarily getting rid of video messaging, but getting rid of the cross.
Okay, separating the two. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Instagram. So I don't know how familiar you are with Finstas, which are it's supposed to stand for fake Instagram. It's a fake account.
What?
Yes. So kids especially, or trolls, will have their normal Instagram that they use, and they connect with people and they comment on stuff, and they, have pictures of their family and their dogs or whatever. And then they have a Finsta. And the Finsta is usually for you doing all your dirt. So maybe you posting the stuff that's only supposed to be for your close friends because you don't want your mom and dad and your grandma and grandpa know what you're doing or whatever. Or you have your stuff that you probably shouldn't be posting, or you want to troll people and leave nasty comments and things like that, but you don't want to do it from your real name and profile. You have a fake Instagram. A lot of people,
like one of us, we will create our own like a fake Instagram account outside of our real one under like a different alias or something?
Yes.
Oh
And
my
they're
goodness.
called Finstas or spam accounts. It's like your BS account. Like you don't take it seriously. You're not whatever. And you can, act out a little bit from it. So that's what they're used for. And I mean,
It's like a lot of energy to just act out online.
Yeah.
well, people put a lot of energy into acting out online.
I'm just saying.
So
Yes.
this is why I think for me this is kind of stupid. So they're creating a new product called Flipside, which is an Instagram that you can create that is essentially your Finsta. It's kind of like how on Instagram right now they have the close friends and family feature, except for this would be a specific feed that you would only have your close friends and family. But the thing about it is, whoever created this over at Meta, people are not using their Finstas and their spams for close friends and family. People are using their Finstas to wild out.
Oh.
I think that there may be a market for this. Like maybe people will use this as their close friends and family feed, because we talked about a few weeks back that Facebook is now allowing you to create additional personal profiles that can be attached to your Facebook. You can access them through your main personal page, but that way if you just want immediate family to see pictures of the kids, then you can do that on there, but then your regular account you can be a little bit more open. So I think it's kind of along lines with that. So there may be a market for it, but as far as them trying to market it as the place you don't have a Finsta, you can have this flip side instead, like no, that's not what people are using. They're still going to have their Finstas and their spam accounts. Those are the ones they can wild out. They don't care, because the issue is that people will use those accounts to troll people online, to be mean, to say hateful things, and they run the risk of getting restricted and banned. So if it's a fake account where they don't have all their stuff, they don't care if it gets restricted or banned.
Yeah. I can't help but, I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I can't help but to believe that this term was coined down south. Because I can remember when I was younger, always saying like, I'm finst to go to the store. I'm finst to go to sleep.
Southern twang.
Finster. I saw that. I was like, Finster. I've been using this word forever, and I've been using it wrong.
A fake Insta. But who knows?
Finsta.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm finst to go.
Yeah.
Amber, I want to say thank you again for bringing us up to speed with all of everything that's happening.
Again, great topics today.
I thought they were good too. I thought they were absolutely great. Especially when anytime you show up to do them, they always are great. Sometimes we have this AI Amber that shows up and kind of does her own thing, and she's nothing like you.
No.
See, I told you.
She's nothing like you. So I absolutely look forward to seeing you in the new year. You got any plans over the next couple of weeks now that hubby is over the COVID?
No, just celebrating the holidays with like a really insane amount of people.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I wish you well. Don't get too tired. Don't be overworked. And we will definitely see you on the other side of the calendar. Thank you for everything that you've done this year.
Next week, real quick. No, next week. December 26th. Are we on?
We're back on December 8th, I believe.
December 8th?
Yeah.
Is that January 8th?
I mean, yeah, January 8th. Excuse me.
January 8th. We're taking some much needed break around here.
Yeah,
sounds good.
We're going to be off the week of Christmas, the week of New Year, come back January 9th.
Absolutely.
January 9th.
Absolutely. So with that being said, if everybody wanted to catch up with you, where are they going to go to? Because they know they need to go somewhere.
Get real with AB. Happy holidays.
Get real with AB. Amber, take care, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right.
Man. Amber, see you on the other side. It seems like this year has went pretty fast. It really has. Really has.
It's again, it's the old saying, you cannot waste time.
Yeah.
Cannot waste time. Yeah, you want to be able to look back on the year and be proud of some accomplishments, some things
Mhm.
you've done, some things you've pushed forward, elevated, evolved, grown, learned, etc.
Me too.
Yeah.
I kind of am in that whole mindset of the upcoming year. I'm already pressing
Mhm.
for it, right?
Yeah.
Um, Wanted to show you guys something. I know we have a guest coming on real quick.
Yeah. What you got, man?
Why don't we bring up? So, in doing a little homework,
AI 50. Okay, what is AI 50?
one of the things that the topics became of the topics today, where it was a discussion about Forbes and its new AI 50. Now, you know, at the end of the year, Forbes has all these lists, and this year they dedicated one to the top 50 companies in the AI space. And I was kind of taken aback the report on the fact that out of the 50, 35 of them are in California. 35. I was taken aback at how many of them have 30 or less employees. For instance, there's ADAP. ADAP has 25 employees. They secured a round of funding for $415 million. Even I think it's Midjourney. You guys know Midjourney, responsible for a lot of the innovations in image generation this year. They have a team of 20, 20 individuals that work for them. And so, another thing that stood out really to me about this entire list was that we don't have any Midwest companies representing.
Mm.
And so I'm thinking, how can that be? Are we not working in the AI space in a Michigan, in a Illinois, in a all these states that are in the Midwest, but specifically even more so Detroit? So I would love to hear of, I don't know, those that from near and far that actually listen to the podcast,
Mhm.
Specifically those in the Detroit area. What type of project are you guys working on? And why do we not have you on this list? And if not, what are your plans for the upcoming year to make next year's list? I would love to hear that because, again, I feel like we're so underrepresented, even again, on a list such as this.
Mm. Aside from California, what other areas did make the list?
Austin,
Texas, okay.
Austin, Texas. Now, you remember the SDT just opened
Yeah.
another institution
Near
about
Austin.
45 minutes outside of Austin. I love Austin. Stay
Okay,
there
so we
quite
have
often.
California. We're 35
Yep.
out of 35 out of the 50.
Yep.
Okay. Then you have one or two in Texas. Where else? Trying to narrow this
Where
down a
else?
little
Oh, Tel Aviv, Israel.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know how that works, but okay.
Yeah.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, Boston, yeah.
New York. New York has a couple
Alright.
of companies on here.
Mhm.
And of course, you have one. I believe it's one from Tokyo. You have a couple.
Okay. But we'll keep it here in the U.S. Stay focused in the U.S. So we're talking California, Texas, Massachusetts.
Major, the larger cities, but definitely again, California is overrepresented, and we just don't have one representation of Michigan on here. So,
or in the Midwest in general.
Right. Yeah. So we definitely want to do some work on that in this upcoming year.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking about that, doing some work. We want to have a conversion. We want to have a conversation with a young fellow that is he's been known to visit these parts occasionally, and I was speaking to him last week on the heels of what was going on with E3,
Yeah.
And he said, listen, why don't we just have a full-blown conversation with it on the podcast?
Okay.
And I said, why don't you make time for me because you're so busy? He said, no, Carlos, no, I'm not so busy that I can't come on. I said, you always busy. Last time you told me you was going to show up, you didn't even show up. He said, Carlos, I was so busy. I said, that's what I just said.
You're always busy.
I said, that's what I always said. So, but he has made time to come today and discuss everything about what's happening with in the gaming space, the metaverses, artificial intelligence. He's just in a litany of it all. So I definitely want to take time to have a conversation with our good friend, Mr. Eric Wise. Why don't we just go ahead and bring Mr. Wise on?
All right.
Eric, how are you today, sir?
Hello. How you doing?
Eric, do you like? Did you like my interpretation of how you sound? No.
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I guess you guys heard that E3 is now called E0 because there's no more E3. Obviously, that was a big surprise for the industry. We've talked about that among our peers in the game industry. It's a shock for everyone at this point.
You said that is a shock for everyone. Why was it a shock, Eric?
Because E3 was delayed because of the pandemic. I think a lot of people were hoping that it would be put back in place. I was actually talking with some of the organizers of E3, and even up to earlier this year in January, there was some planning on making it happen. There was a lot of people who were actually, hoping that we would be able to start the pre-registration early in March, which is usually the time period when it happens. E3 is typically happening during the month of June. So that's why it was a big surprise when it was officially announced that it would not only would not be renewed, but that was just it. That was just no longer. So
Okay, so Eric, for those of us who aren't necessarily gamers, explain to us why this was so jaw-dropping.
Well, so first you gotta realize E3 has been around for about 28 years. It first started in 1995. That's when we had the first E3 conference, and that was back in LA. Most of the E3 conference happened in Los Angeles. And back in those days, the way companies promote their projects, their consoles, their new titles, their new trailers, and everything was through those conferences because we didn't have social media platform, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a huge event. It happens annually. It usually draws about 50,000 people. It's called E3 because it stands for Electronic Entertainment Expo. So there's 3 E's, just for people who don't know what E3 stands for. And it was a surprise and it was not a surprise. It was not a surprise because it had become very expensive for companies and publishers to have a booth there. You got to realize the event is for 4 days, and usually to have a presence on the floor, it costs between $50,000 and $250,000 just to have a booth.
Wow.
Which compared to other conferences, like PAX East or GDC or other video game conference, it's like sometimes triple, quadruple the cost.
Eric, is this a clear sign of changing times in the gaming industry?
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely a sign of everything pivoting. Companies, there's a lot of publishers who actually withdrew from their attendance at E3 in 2019, which was the last conference before the pandemic hit us. And when you consider that, daily cost is over $1,000, then you have to encounter paying plane ticket and hotels and meals, and you want to send a dozen of your best employees to represent your company. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars that I spent to go there. So you want to make sure that you're able to maximize the experience. And the thing is, at the beginning, E3 was all about the first-hand experience. This is where you went to see, as an industry expert, the first trailers before they were released to the public, where you actually got to test the games. Where, like in 1995, that's when Sony did the reveal about the launch of the PlayStation, which revolutionized the consoles. Um, and this is basically was the place to be. There was like it's kind of like the big high school reunion for the gamers. I mean, I've been working in the game industry for since 1993, and this was my place to go every year to meet my peers and everything.
How can businesses benefit from this?
They can benefit in a way that now they actually have access to a wider range of platforms to showcase their product. Uh, there's less of a chance of leakage of information when it's presented live on the floor of E3. There was a lot of things that was taken away from the announcements that were revealed to the public. Nowadays, the strategy with some of those companies is they actually do it on purpose. Kind of like what we've seen with GTA 6 when there was supposed to be a leakage of the video and it came out early. But that was just a strategy from the company called Rockstar to just even boost their traffic on promoting the thing. So the advantage for those companies basically right now is lower cost because there's no attendance included, there's no rental of booths, and the fact that they're able to promote their product across all social media for next to nothing.
Do you feel like this was a decision that came in the last year, or are we talking about something a few years in the making?
The decision of canceling E3?
Yes.
I think it's something that a lot of people in the industry who've been as long in the industry as I have, I've kind of seen coming. But we were still, like I said earlier, we're still in the hopes of having the conference happening this year. So it was kind of like of a last minute decision that was more of a surprise, I think. Because again, I've been talking to a lot of my peers in the game industry lately, and even those who actually are part of the organization of E3. I mean, I was part of the organization for the National Game Developer Association. I was the president for that for a while, and we knew it was eventually coming, but we just didn't expect it to happen this year.
What kind of impact do you think this will have on multiplayer gaming in the metaverse?
And you mean like in terms of the game itself, the product, or the follow? I think it's. I don't think it's going to have an impact in any way because E3 became. E3 was close to the public, so it was mostly for people in the industry to attend an event to get insights on what's going to happen next, what are the biggest game, which publisher is doing what. So in terms of the product themselves, I think it's not really going to hit any of the sales or any of anything. I think it's just allowing a lot of people to just have a good reason for taking advantage of using other ways for social platform to promote their product, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And with these changes coming, clearly, what advice do you have for anyone entering this line of work, this industry?
For anyone who's attempting to have a startup game production company?
Yeah.
I would just go through the usual channels like Steam, for example. Steam is a platform where you once you have a demo of a game, you don't even have to have a full playable game. You can actually post your game online on that platform, and once you start having traction with downloads and people following your product, Steam actually it's called green lighting your project, and they're actually making it official on the platform, and then you can actually start distribution and selling your product. The traditional way of going through publishers is just no longer working because there's so many independent companies right now who are able to do everything from A to Z. in the past, game development was not as accessible to the general public. Now, with some basic training on learning how to do animation and how to use a game engine and everything, you can actually go through the process of creating your own game. DSDT actually had an example of a student who did that on his own, who went through the process of learning game production and was able to develop a product where they're now to the point where they actually have a demo and they're just shopping around to find more funding to be able to release the game. So there's a lot of that process here to create on your own nowadays. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, moral of the story is like many changes, but definitely business as usual in the gaming industry.
Yeah, the gaming industry is changing a lot. In the past, there was very little independent studios. Everything was mostly run by big production company because of the cost of the hardware and software was very high, because the process of publishing a game was very complicated. Now there's so many things that are automated. Creating the animation can be done through AI. Creating the 3D models can be done through AI. There's a lot of the pipeline process that can be generated through AI, where you only need 2 or 3 people to create a game compared to having to use 20 or 30 people. I've worked
Few people and 2 laptops.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked at studios where we had hundreds of people working on game production for several years, where now you can create comparable games with up to 10 people within a few months. So it's changing a lot. Everything is changing. And now we're using virtual reality, augmented reality. There's platforms that go beyond the traditional console of game entertainment. So I think all of that just justifies the reason why E3 pretty much had to wrap up, because they were no longer relevant. They were extremely expensive, and what they delivered was just no longer beneficial enough to game production companies.
Wow.
Rock solid information, Eric.
Yeah. So what do you see on the horizon in 2019 industry, the gaming or mixed reality industries?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first portion of your question.
What do you see on the horizon in 2024 as far as your industries, gaming and mixed reality?
I think virtual reality will come first before augmented reality, just because the definition and resolution of graphics is higher in virtual reality than it is in augmented reality. But it's getting close. I think virtual reality is going to be taking off even more in the next couple of years, especially within the metaverse and among a lot of blockchain games. I've seen some products being developed that were trying to attain a similar experience that you would find at that movie called Ready Player One, but obviously it's not as far advanced. But they're trying to create that virtual experience where you can create your own avatar, where you can have you can create your own environment, and you can create a lot of things through virtual reality and interact with people and everything. So I think what's actually going to become more and more popular are those environments where people are actually going to be able to interact with one another in VR, and especially through social media. I don't know if Facebook will be next doing this, and I highly doubt it, because they kind of failed at their attempt of doing that. But there will be absolutely, within the next 5 years, if it's not sooner, a VR platform that will allow you to have that virtual reality interactive experience via social media.
So you like, that was kind of hard, right? You said Meta kind of failed at
Mm.
doing that. But aren't they like the forerunners of the social metaverse space right now?
Well, they're definitely the forerunners of social media, that's for sure. But when it comes to virtual reality technology, I don't believe they're the forerunner. And that's simply because of my observation of what they've been delivered in terms of the graphics that they promised and the quality of the interaction and all of that, which was for a long time wallpaper to me. I've seen better results from other independent company when it comes to immersive experiences in VR than what Meta has been putting out there. Now, who knows? Maybe they're doing way better on the ground and they're not talking about it, you know. But knowing the strategy of Facebook and how they usually deal with their product, they're very quick to just talk about it and put things out there. So if they were really like developing something on the ground that was going to be groundbreaking in terms of virtual reality technology, I think we would know by now. So this is the reason why I believe that other companies are just jumping in and trying to push the envelope in terms of the quality of the experience. And when I'm talking about the quality experience, is how immersive the experience is in VR and with the interaction with others in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
It's a lot to be aware of and be excited for going into 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't played a video game since '99.
What game was that?
Resident Evil.
Oh
Oh
wow.
boy.
Resident Evil on Sega Dreamcast.
You should play the Resident Evil in VR.
No, I
That
promise
is a crazy, scary experience.
Yeah, I'm good. I listen, I quit kindergarten because they played too many games.
Oh my goodness. Stop it. Crack yourself up.
I'm just saying. I quit playing games. I don't get into games as much anymore. Now I can't lie. I tried to get a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get a PS4 and play with my grandson Charlie.
Yeah.
We got Madden. Let me just say, by the time it was over, the score was like 75-4 my way.
Oh.
I mean, his way.
Mm.
But I mean, for all intents and purposes, I do see the gamification in a lot of different things now. I see where we have come in comparison to where we once were. I mean, of course, I remember the ColecoVisions and the Pongs and the, Atari Visions and those gamings that have become what the gaming industry is today. And so I only can imagine where we're headed in the next 5 years, especially with the adaptation of artificial intelligence. I actually put on the Meta headset and I went into one of those experiences to where you have the avatar meet you and they're powered by artificial intelligence. So the conversation, the experience is always different depending on how you interact with that computerized system. I think that is like probably, if I can say it this way, I don't know, Eric could help me. I think that's probably where we're headed as far as those gaming type experience. Are we not?
Well, I definitely would say that video games have become more than just entertainment. They've become a way of learning. They become a way of training people in certain job duties. They've become a way of healing as well. It's used through art therapy and different things. So it's very multifaceted than just enjoying a gameplay and having fun. It's being utilized for a variety of things.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing how you see now young children having the ability to interact with those mechanics, with the game mechanics and the mechanics of playing the game itself, and how intuitive it is for them and how automatic it is. It's almost like they're born with a game controller in their hand nowadays. They can just pick it up and figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the days when I had the Atari 2600, I had a joystick and one button to push. That's it. That was really complicated for me.
It's become a little bit more advanced now. A little bit more advanced.
I think you just told your age.
Yeah. What was it? The Atari?
Atari 2600 with one joystick
goodness.
and one button.
My goodness. Okay. Hey. Wow.
Eric,
Yes.
I want to thank you for taking our time to come today and give us an insight as to what's going on with E3. I
Absolutely.
definitely found it devastating, given the fact that you still have like DEF CON happening. You know, these big industry titans that you don't necessarily want to see go anywhere just because of the industries that they're representing. So I can't imagine where the gaming industry now begins to, gather. If you could, is there a second to even E3 that gamers would be interested in attending, if not E3?
Well, so there's other conferences like the Penny Arcade Expo, known as PAX, and they have a session on the east side of the country and the west side of the country. They have PAX East and PAX West. PAX East generally being in Boston. And those are actually working better because, first of all, they're open to the public, so everybody can get to enjoy that. And they're not as marketing sales oriented. Like, you actually have an experience that's very genuine and you're not pushed by sales. And it's also a lot more affordable, which is definitely a big plus. But I see that also slowly going away because, again, you can introduce your video game trailer now on every single social media platform, which obviously you couldn't do 10 years ago. And there's so many other ways. What I see, though, coming up eventually is to have, once they're able to build servers who are able to handle that, I can see those game conferences done in VR. Eventually, you just plug in your Oculus and you travel to a virtual set and you're meeting thousands of people, and here you have your game conference happening.
Wow. I could see that happening too.
Mhm.
I really could.
Yeah.
So all the more, why do we even need these brick and mortar spaces, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that alleviate the expense as well.
Yeah.
go.
Listen, thank you, my friend. I want to say appreciate you again for stopping
yeah.
by and giving us some insight into everything that Josh and Karlos do not know.
Always my pleasure.
Knowledge, absolutely. And we definitely look forward to perhaps having you again in the future. Of course,
Absolutely.
you're always willing to come back. I see that book back there on your shelf. Can you tell everybody what the name of it is so that those who may be interested in? Eric's an author too, in case you guys didn't know.
Okay. Show us.
So this is actually one of my novels called The Singularity. This is a book that I wrote. I was part of a research program at MIT.
Hold it up
about
a little closer to the
artificial
camera.
intelligence. So the book is about the BERT language system and AI, which was before ChatGPT and everything, and it talks about stackable learning language and the development of using artificial intelligence in that context. So this was the first book. I'm actually writing another book that is more relevant because I feel like this was published in 2020 and it almost became obsolete by now because of the evolution of AI and how things have changed so quickly. But yeah, this is The Singularity and the Posterity of Our Humanity. It's a great read.
He said it's a great read, if he must say so himself.
Hey.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Listen, Eric, thank you for taking our time and joining us today, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the future, my friend.
Thank you very much, and
I'll
you guys
talk-
have a wonderful day.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care of us, sir. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Evolution in the gaming system.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So this week we want to take our time to get our YDSDT, of course.
Mhm.
It is being brought to us from a young lady. Her name is, I know I'm going to say this right, Yakima Sane. Yakima gave us a reason as to why she decided to attend DSDT, and here it is.
Hi, I'm Yakima. I'm a student at DSDT, and this is my why DSDT. I chose DSDT because I heard that it was an excellent school. I heard also a lot of great things as far as the digital marketing program here, and so I wanted to apply that knowledge to my brand, which is House of Salt. I do hair, and I have hair products. And so I'm working on getting those products in stores, but I really wanted to stop and learn the digital marketing side of how to run a business. Today, we learned about blog posts and, using cameras. And so I'm going to learn how to use the cinema camera. I can't wait to learn that. I've always been fascinated with cameras and just the behind the scenes working with cameras in movies and how to shoot the angles and everything. And so I can't wait to use that part of the digital marketing program. Actually, I'm really excited for that, not just for my products, but shooting life in general. And this is my why DSDT.
I'd just like to say, Marco, can you please, when you get a chance, check back with Yakima, because I've been looking for that camera. Can you please find out if that's the camera I've been looking for?
You want to bring it in here?
I've been looking for that camera. No,
He has one more camera shot he wants to add.
No, definitely want to thank Yakima for that YDSDT. It's always great to hear why individual students select DSDT outside of the other choices that they could have easily made.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful for it, and I'm sure that everyone who's come into contact with her here are as grateful. So again, thank you, Yakima. We appreciate you.
Great testimony.
All right, Josh, I don't know about you, but it's been a whole lot of 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Yes, it have, and counting. Hey, happy holidays to you, Carlos. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see each other back in 2024.
I do believe we will.
Yes,
I do believe we will.
Yes, sir.
So I think that this time when you end this, why don't we go ahead and end on a
wide shot? Yes.
With a little music as we are going to close out this year.
All right. I love it. All right. So if in the meantime, that will do it for the Tech School podcast powered by DSDT. See ya. Play a little music. There we go.